Oh, okay.
What's your time?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I apologize. Yeah.
what time?
One more time.
Yeah, my time will be 5 to 7. And I was expected to be out of ordinary all the time, so I just want to keep the same kind of expectation. And today my topic will be how to sell your wife.
How to sell.
Yeah, it's a topic. It's up to date. It's current. You think it's not, but in this my speech I'll try to talk about myself, about what's matter for all of us, and for each of you particularly. About 1.5 decade ago, I was walking on my street, and I didn't see any Donald Duck, anything like this, and I go to open my mailbox, and I open mailbox, and I see letter from Commander of Chief of United States of Army, and I said, oh, it must be this experience that not all of us would live through. Those people who already was born here never get this letter, but I did have these letters, and it was signed by Bill Clinton, Mr. Igor Shevchyk, welcome to United States of America, and we gladly accept you as a citizen. So today's speech I'll dedicate to that particular moment and to that figure and to whatever happened last night on television. What's happening last night on television? Bill Clinton was selling his wife to the United States of America. And I was witness of it, and most of you will be witness of it. If you're not, after my speech, most likely you'll take a look on this. And in this speech, Mr. Clinton was unwilling entire his life, because they already been for a long time in marriage. And what's the value of the speech is? Value of the speech is that highly paid speaker in the world, Bill Clinton, would be doing a speech. It's like, it's a wow thing. If for everybody who want to be in a speech, to want to give a speech, we need to listen to this kind of moment and to listen to that, because it's real life. It's not fake story. It's real, And what make it real? Not only what he is mentioning in a speech, but speech was written, it was evaluated by most people, but the famous people, the most talented people. And what we hear in that speech, we hear about meetings, about compassion, about falling in love, about rejection, because he's saying she doesn't want to marry him right away. About some manipulation when Bill is buying a house, and also when you talk to somebody, like Bill was talking to our citizen, to me, to you, he was giving a measurable, understandable, subjects. He was not talking about foreign policy, about this and that stuff that only few people would understand what he's talking. He was talking about square footage of the house, 1,100 square feet house. Why he was mentioning this house? He's not mentioning his last mention when he had 7,000 square foot house. He's mentioning this because most people live in those houses. Average house would be whatever, 1,200, 1,300, United States average. He was giving this particular number to them. Also, he was talking about other things that people can understand. Money. He was saying, I was paying $175 for a mortgage for that house. So people listening to that, and they see, oh, he's a guy like me. I also have a house. I also have house square footage was relatively, to that house. And also, most of us would be rejected somewhere in their life, and most would be accepted as a life. We have kids, we go through romance, this and other. And he was slowly but surely, trying to convince the United States citizens that his wife is the only person qualified for the job, based on his personal experience and wherever he can mention is sellable. Was he 100% truthful in this? No, he was not. Why I'm making this statement? In the one house, there's two very strong people live in one house. Two strong personalities that most likely each of them might be fitted for United States of Presidents. If you see two strong people in the house living together, would be always harmonious? No way. Is he ever mentioned, is it something out of balance? No, he never mentioned it. But most people understand. So logic might, if you want to achieve your moment of ha in White House and relax, you have to do step by step to go to the thing. And by step we're going, you should rely to stuff that people understand. And you should omit the other stuff away. If he would say, I always have wonderful relation with my wife, we have never one fight, he would be lying, but he never mentioned that. So he was making one true statement, another true statement, another true statement, and leaving whatever statement are here in the side. So it's how Bill was about to sell his wife to American public as the best candidate of United States next presidency. So, summarizing my story, if you want to talk to somebody, first thing, you're supposed to know who you're talking to. Especially important to, if you want to have some outcomes, have achievement after this conversation, you need to research what the person is. And you're supposed to talk about scientists, engineers, about scientists to some philosopher, and other skills, to women one way, to men another way, or know hobbies. Sometimes hobbies can go both ways. So in order to, and also you need to talk in the terms that is understandable for this person, and do it with big smile. Another thing that kind of, I look in that last speech and I see a couple times how Bill's hands are shaking. You need to hide your stuff that's not perfect. You need to keep your arms under the table. His speech was wonderful, but stuff like this, it's just things that a good speaker like his should be aware of what his impression is. So, and this I will conclude my topic: how to sell your wife. And hopefully it was something interesting, and at least to think about. And thank you for your attention, Mr. Boyd. And hopefully